Hello and welcome to Newsline. I'm Lauren Roberts.
And I'm Alexandra Keefe. Coming up on the program, the World Anti-Doping Agency cracks down on Essendon, new taxes set to hit the online entertainment industry, and how to stop young people embracing terrorism.
But first, Premier Daniel Andrews spoke at Victoria Police's new multi-million-dollar complex that opened on Spencer Street this afternoon. The Premier used the occasion to stress the importance of new custody officers that will free up uniformed police to focus on fighting crime.
This is going to be a fantastic base, if you like, for the bravest, the best police and also support staff to work really hard fighting crime and keeping our communities.
Clearly impressed with Twitter's new live streaming app, Daniel Andrews again turned to Periscope to connect with the public. Unlike last week's budget stream, this time he allowed journalists to attend.
Since the 2013 election, the Coalition has slashed 16,500 full-time public service jobs. 11,000 jobs were cut in the last financial year, and the Canberra economy is feeling the pressure. 1 in 11 ACT public service workers lost their jobs between 2013 to 14, and a further 2,000 jobs were cut between 2014 and 15. Families and business owners are concerned how cuts will affect the nation's capital.
In news on the federal budget, Joe Hockey has announced that a 10% tax will be added to online services like the popular site Netflix and certain imported goods. This tax may affect apps like Uber and online games. Mr. Hockey stressed that this tax will not apply to imported goods costing less than $1,000.
And now over to Ian Ackerman with news on today's federal budget.
Prime Minister Tony Abbott is describing the new federal budget to be announced this evening in many ways. Apparently, it will be prudent, frugal, responsible, routine, and pretty dull. The reaction, however, might not be so dull. Changes are in the offing for pensioners and families with children, among others. The Families Package is designed to encourage parents to work with subsidies for nannies. However, if you are a stay-at-home parent and your partner earns more than $65,000 per year, you stand to lose government childcare subsidies. Also, the government is expected to cut $2.4 billion over the next 4 years from pension schemes.
How many pensioners are expected to be affected by these changes?
Some 91,000 retirees are expected to lose their part pensions, and 236,000 are expected to see decreases in their pensions. But retirees with smaller assets can expect an increase in their pensions, some as much as $30 a fortnight.
Thanks, Ian. Since the rise of the Islamic State, an increasing number of young Australians are becoming radicalised. Jess Davis reports on the search for answers as governments, community groups and academics attempt to counter this trend.
So far, around 70 Australians have left the country to join the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq. ISIS's slick propaganda machine is targeting young men across the world. Boys such as Jake Belati, recruiters such as Neil Prakesh, and Adelaide doctor Tariq Kamla.
Organisations like ISIS, who are based on violence and nothing to do with religion, they use social media as a tool to propagate their ideologies and to recruit a lot of youth.
The challenge for communities and families is convincing young people to stay away from complicated and messy overseas wars, particularly when those going to fight are not clear who they'll be fighting for.
To go there, there's no reason. In which group you're going to? Why are you going?
Dandenong and Springvale have been identified as high-risk areas due to their large number of minority groups and high youth unemployment. A group of young men were arrested in Springvale in relation to a terrorist attack plot at an Anzac Day memorial service.
So we need to have a prevention. We need to work closely with school, with parents, and with the police as well.
Cases of Australians leaving to fight are now emerging regularly. The federal government has introduced harsh new laws to prevent people from leaving and punishing them on their return. However, community programs that directly connect with young people are seen as the most effective preventative measure.
With those run by communities, are usually done by the community, organised by the community, for the community, so they're always more effective. But unfortunately, those sorts of projects get the least amount of funding.
The challenge now for Australia is to win the hearts and minds of young Muslims who are feeling disenfranchised from the wider community, to help channel their anger away from violence and towards a more hopeful future. Jess Davis, Newsline.
Thanks, Jess. Still to come on Newsline, we review the movie While We're Young and the latest on WADA and the never-ending Essendon doping saga.
Welcome back. Still to come, a look into a program bringing together Multicultural Australia, Sport with Ed, and a weather forecast for Melbourne and Geelong. But now we'll cross to Ed Gardner for a movie review.
While We're Young is the new comedy from Noah Baumbach. The film stars Naomi Watts and Ben Stiller, who are outstanding in their portrayal of Josh and Cornelia, a well-off couple stuck in a middle-aged slump in New York City. They're quickly united with Jamie and Darby, who represent a much younger and freer version of themselves. Jamie, played ferociously by Adam Driver, and Darby, played by the disarming Amanda Seyfried, take great pleasure in showing the elderly couple how to live again.
What kind of class is this again? Hip-hop.
And true gangsters don't speak.
Something about being around them that energizes you.
You have arthritis in your knee.
Arthritis? Arthritis?
Yes. I usually just say...
As the friendship blossoms, Jamie's career ambitions reveal themselves, and Josh and Cornelia start to have second thoughts. The entire cast is fantastic, but the star of the show is Jamie, and newcomer Adam Driver throws everything he has into this fascinating portrait of a flattering, scheming Renaissance man. The final act takes a predictable turn, but ends on a high note that may surprise fans of Baumbach. While We're Young is in cinemas now. My rating, 4 stars.
Thanks, Ed. Fitting into a new country can be tough for migrants and refugees, but when it comes to multicultural Victoria, Heidi Gregg reports on a program designed to bring all sorts of Australians together through sport and education.
These children come from all over the world but have one thing in common: they're part of the Huddle. North Melbourne Football Club started the Huddle 5 years ago with the vision to help educate and inspire young people, particularly those from migrant and refugee backgrounds.
The Huddle enables them to really get involved, whether it's in sport or education, and we just work on social cohesion through the fact that someone tutoring a young person in the Huddle space, and that young person, whether they're from a Somali background or they're Sudanese, those two coming together is a really good example of social cohesion.
According to the Department of Health and Human Services, about 1/3 of all refugees entering Australia live here in Victoria, which is around 4,000 people a year.
Here in Melbourne, we've got more public housing, like you see behind us, than anywhere else in the country, right here in this electorate.
These programs, which focus on sport, technology, positive education and team building, are delivered by teachers and volunteers. The North Melbourne footballers also play a big role in engaging and supporting the children.
Thanks to the Huddle, these children and families have access to a wide range of educational and social programs, which ultimately empower them to become lifelong learners and valued members of their community.
We get people from all over the community to come in and volunteer so that we are really promoting social cohesion. It's not just about new and emerging communities or migrant communities, it's also about people who've lived in Australia for a long time.
It means that instead of people coming home at the end of a school day and going up into their flats and shutting the doors behind them, they're out here playing sport, but more importantly getting to know each other, getting to know other people from the community.
If all goes to plan, this community will soon be one big happy huddle. Heidi Gregg, Newsline.
We'll get one more, then we'll leave it. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Heidi. And now we'll go to sport with Ed Gardner, who'll look at developments in the Essendon drug scandal, an assault involving an AFL coach, and the latest recruit for an upcoming cricket tournament. Ed?
The World Anti-Doping Agency announced today it will appeal ASADA's not guilty verdict on 34 Essendon players. ASADA cleared the players in March, finding insufficient evidence to support allegations of the use of performance-enhancing drugs. Bombers coach James Hird said he was shocked by the decision but vowed to continue fighting. The appeal will be lodged in the Court of Arbitration for Sport and is expected to start in 3 months. Tasmanian police are investigating an alleged assault on a security guard at Blundstone Arena, with reports that North Melbourne coach Brad Scott was involved in the incident. Scott has not commented on the matter, but it's understood he's taking legal advice. The alleged scuffle took place weeks after Hawthorn coach Alistair Clarkson was caught on tape striking a supporter. The police are asking for any witnesses to the assault to come forward. To cricket now, Brisbane Heat have signed Samuel Badri for the Big Bash League tournament. The 34-year-old West Indian bowler is number 1 in the world T20 rankings. Back to Lauren Roberts for the weather.
Thanks, Ed. Melbourne had a wet, cloudy day with a high of 16 and possible thunderstorms and local hail could hit tonight. The rain will flow into tomorrow with an 80% chance of showers, low of 6 and a high of 12. Geelong also had a wet, windy day with a high of 15 and predictions of local hail and thunderstorms this evening. Wet weather continues tomorrow with an 80% chance of rain and possible morning thunderstorm, low of 5 and high of 14.
And that's all we've got time for this evening. We hope you can join us again tomorrow on Newsline for more breaking news and current affairs. For now, thank you and good night.